Have you ever felt like something you did for fun turned into something much darker? Jamie did, and by the time she realized it, there was no way out. Jamie loved video games. She wasn't a hardcore gamer, but she enjoyed diving into new worlds after school. When she stumbled across a mysterious game called Mirror's Path in a forum one evening, she was intrigued. The game wasn't available on any official store. Someone had shared a link, and the description simply said, "Play if you dare." Would you have downloaded it? Jamie couldn't resist the temptation. It was late. Her room was dimly lit, and curiosity got the better of her. She clicked the link. The download was fast, too fast. It felt like the game was already waiting for her. The icon that appeared on her desktop was strange. It wasn't a logo or text, just a faint outline of an eye. She hesitated for a moment, then double-clicked it. The screen went black. No loading screen, no company logo, just darkness. Then, white text appeared. "Welcome, Jamie. Are you ready to play?" Her breath hitched. How did it know her name? She laughed nervously, telling herself it was probably pulling data from her computer. That wasn't unheard of. She clicked yes. The game opened into a first-person view. The graphics were hyper-realistic, almost too real. She stood in what looked like her own bedroom. Every detail matched: her posters, her books, even the coffee mug on her desk. A chill ran down her spine. Was this some kind of augmented reality? She looked around with her mouse, and the in-game version of her room felt eerily alive. Then, a notification popped up. Mission 1. Find the key. Jamie moved her character around, searching the room. She found a key on the dresser and picked it up. The moment she did, the screen flickered, and the room in the game changed. It was still her room, but darker. The walls were cracked, and something black dripped from the ceiling. The posters were torn, and the coffee mug was shattered. "Creepy," she muttered, her heart racing. She tried to pause the game, but the escape key didn't work. In fact, none of the keys responded. She couldn't even close the game window. A new notification appeared. Mission 2. Open the door. She moved her character toward the door, but as she approached, she heard faint whispers. They were coming from the game, but they didn't sound like pre-recorded audio. It was as if someone was speaking directly into her headphones. "Jamie? Jamie. Why did you let us in?" Her stomach dropped. She pulled off her headphones, but the whispers continued, faint and distant, as if they were in the room with her. She turned around, but her bedroom was empty. She hesitated for a moment, then put the headphones back on. In the game, the door opened on its own. Beyond it was a long, dark hallway. The walls seemed to pulse, like they were alive. She didn't want to go in, but the character started moving on its own. "What the hell?" Jamie whispered. Her mouse and keyboard were unresponsive. The character walked down the hallway, the whispers growing louder. "You shouldn't have opened the door." The screen flickered again, and suddenly, she was looking at herself. Her real self, sitting at her desk. The game was using her webcam to show her reflection. She stared at the screen, horrified, as the in-game version of herself smiled. But she wasn't smiling. "Stop," Jamie said, her voice trembling. The character in the game tilted its head, mirroring her movements perfectly. Then it spoke, but not in her voice. The voice was deep, echoing, and cold. "You're not in control anymore." The screen cut to black, and new text appeared. Mission 3. Survive. Jamie's computer speakers crackled, and the whispers turned into screams. Her lights flickered, and her room grew colder. She tried to shut off her computer, but the power button wouldn't work. Even unplugging it did nothing. The game was still running. Have you ever felt completely helpless? Like something was watching you, waiting for you to make the wrong move? That's exactly how Jamie felt. The game screen came back on, but now it showed her house. Not in the game, her actual house. The camera moved through the rooms, as if someone was walking around with a live feed. It showed the living room, the kitchen, and finally the hallway leading to her bedroom. The footsteps in the video grew louder, and then they stopped outside her door. "No," Jamie whispered, backing away from her desk. Her bedroom door creaked open. She turned, her heart pounding, but there was no one there. When she looked back at the screen, the game showed her room again. But now, there was a figure standing behind her character. A tall, shadowy figure with glowing red eyes. The figure raised a hand and pointed. Jamie felt something brush against her shoulder. She screamed, spinning around, but the room was still empty. When she looked back at the screen, the figure was gone. Her character was standing alone again. A new notification appeared. Mission 4. Finish the game. Jamie's hands trembled as she reached for the mouse. The game was guiding her character toward a final door. She didn't want to go through it, but she didn't have a choice. The whispers returned, louder and angrier now. They seemed to come from everywhere. "Why did you play? Why did you open the door?" She guided the character through the door, and the screen went completely black. For a moment, there was silence. Then, white text appeared. "Congratulations, Jamie. You finished the game. Now, it's our turn to play." The screen turned into a reflection of her room again, but this time, she wasn't alone. The shadowy figure was standing behind her. She froze, unable to move, as its hand reached toward her reflection. She felt icy fingers brush the back of her neck. The screen went black again, and the game closed itself. Her computer shut down, and the room was silent. Jamie sat there, staring at her reflection in the dark monitor, too scared to move. Then, her phone buzzed. She picked it up with shaking hands and saw a single message. "You can't quit the game." Her screen turned off, and in its dark reflection, she saw the shadowy figure standing behind her once more. She opened her mouth to scream, but everything went black. Would you play a game like this? If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to my channel for more chilling tales. Just be careful. Sometimes the stories find you.